Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus, and this is Romesh Srivastava. Please do subscribe the channel for the HR news, by HR updates, and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders, and business heads. Today, we will try to dive deep the career growth and how the companies generally strategize in their organizations. Today, we have two eminent HR leaders. Let me welcome Ms. Rajita Singh. She is the Chief People Officer with the Kyndryl India, and Mr. Harjeet Khanduja is the Senior Vice President Human Resources at Reliance Jio. Harjeet is also best-selling author. Recently, his new book got published, that is HR Mastermind. HR Mastermind is basically a book that is this is a set of three books basically. So one that is hiring mastermind, and another one that is employee retention mastermind, and the third book is that's employee management mastermind. This so HR mastermind is the set of three books basically. So congratulations, Harjeet, on publication of your
Thank
book.
you, Ramesh ji. Hmm.
Recently, I did a survey, and this survey talks about that generally why do most of the people switch their jobs. So we put four options there. Number one, that is the compensation. Second, we put that is non-supporting boss. And third, we put the career growth. And fourth, that is the flexibility. We got around 163 votes, and out of 163 votes, maximum votes we got for the career growth. Around 59% people they have voted for the career growth. 20% people they have voted for the compensation. 18% people they have voted for non-supporting boss. Only 4% people they have voted for flexibility. So my first question to both of you, your first, small bite on this survey. And second added question that would be that how do you see that what is the career growth basically when it comes to employer perspective? So any of you can respond first.
So, let me start with a story. Uh, you have already given the numbers that what people are looking for, and look, any survey you do which has more than 30 people, that is statistically valid. So, uh, basically, that's what people are saying. I will tell you a story. There was a off-roll guy who used to work very well. So then company thought this guy works so well. So it was a government office. So they thought, boss, we should actually make this person on roll. So they made him on roll. They gave him career growth. And the day that guy became on roll, he said, now I will not work because that's what an off roll guy does. So you hire a off roll, he will work and I will sit like the other babus, sit and enjoy their life. Look, when you talk about career growth, the way people see the higher position, how they want to move up in their life, that could be very different from the way we are seeing it right now. So everyone has different aspirations and expectations based on the environment they are in. When a child grows, so the child sees the world, wants to walk, wants to talk, wants to experience the world. So when we are in the early stages of our career, that is what we want to do. We look for compensation. We look for experiencing new things, what kind of work, and because that's how you grow. When you are in mid of your life, then you are like a plant. You want to bloom, you want to show what you can contribute, and when you are, say, at the fag end of your career, you want to leave a legacy that how much I have contributed and what I want to do. So career aspirations and goals and career path actually changes with what kind of stage you are there in your career, and it has, say, individual preferences also. So there are people, there is a framework called capes. um, so people have anchors around those anchors, if they get some liberty, that's how they want to grow in their career. So, CAPE says C stands for creativity. There are people who love creativity in their job. So, if they get more creativity in their job, in their life, then they feel that is growth. There are people who love autonomy, that nobody should tell me what to do. So, those people actually become consultants and they say, I control my own life, and that's how I want to be. So, a lot of people are moving towards gig economy, the flexibility which got minimum number of votes. Uh, that is autonomy. Third one is power, that I want to grow, I want to have more money, I want to have more people reporting into me. So, that is another aspiration. And there are certain people who go for expertise, that most of your IT guys who are getting into, say, solution architecture and things like that, so they feel good in terms of how their career is moving if they are gaining something on expertise side. And then there are people who want security, which is totally opposite of autonomy. So those people try to stick with jobs and do whatever is given to them, and if you give them a path, so they will grow that path. uh, but they want something secure, like 90s. In 1990s, this was something which was very popular, and as we have moved 40 years ahead, so now people have become more enterprising, but still security is pretty high in terms of what people look for. So when we are talking about, say, career growth, it means different to different people. Now, the set of people you surveyed, they primarily talked about mm, that they are preferring something. So it depends upon, means I don't know what age group they are coming from, and what kind of background they have, or what kind of preferences they have. So it is difficult to deduce, but if we divide them into these segments, we will definitely see different things coming from different areas.
Rita, what is your initial comment on this? And generally, what you think that employees expect when it comes to the career growth?
I think every survey is a good survey, right? Because there is this HIF approach that's adapted when you look at data. First is hindsight, then is insight, then is foresight. So essentially, what we get at times of surveys is a combination of hindsight and insight with regards to what the existing population is looking to do. If I come down to learning, there was this article that was published last year, and it is not linked to corporate, but it was about learning styles and the Finland education industry. Okay, it is beautiful. There are 7 ways, of how you can teach people, what they need to learn, how they need to learn at a very young age. And it's a combination of what teachers do and what students do. So if I extrapolate that and bring it in the organization setup, the teachers are the organization, so to say, as an analogy, and the students are the, associates or the employees working in the organization. So essentially, like Harjeet said, and this is not new. It's different strokes for different people. Meaning is different in life. Where you are is different. Context is different. So there was this very beautiful saying that 20, 30 years back, or maybe 40 years back, when you were earning 500 rupees a month, even a 100 rupee increment was important. Okay, that was relative. Now, and there was also a phase that 5 years since or 10 years since, if somebody's salary had gone up to 1,000, he or she didn't care of the money after that at the workplace. It was about how am I contributing? What am I learning? Is there any meaning in life? So there's a lot of great, I don't want to call it gyan, but great research and stuff that comes back to what's my purpose of life. Why am I here and what am I trying to do? Because I'm spending more than 2/3 of my waking hours at work. Is it meaningful? Am I able to add to value? It's not about that, yeah, this is my task and this is what I want to do. How am I adding value? Harjeet mentioned about the gig economy. Why is the gig economy taking up so much? Because people want to know what are they doing for themselves. It's a highly individualized economy today. I'll give you again non-linked example. I was in Delhi this week, and I was talking to my cousin who's 20 something, and he's just gotten into the family business and he's running a corporate. And he tells me, so I told him, I said, so any HR issues? He started laughing. He said, no, I don't have HR issues. I don't understand how do I make these people understand that this company will also contribute towards your health. And health is not just your weight. Health is the way you look, your grooming, what are you learning? Are you a part of a human library? So the way they think is extremely different. So the multi-generational workforce that exists today, and how do you come up with a learning path is what's important. But if you also step back a bit, there is this myth that learning styles are individual and people need to come up with it. There's a very beautiful article from Adam Grant. You should read it. He's actually said that this is all a myth, it doesn't exist. So it's up to you and your willingness, your aptitude and your willingness if you want to learn. So that's what I will say about career growth.
Yeah, of course, that's about the learning. And Rajita, as you also quoted about the gig economy and freelancing. So now, if you see earlier, if you compare to the people who are working around the 5 year, 6 year, maybe the 10 years for a single company, now these career spans are also getting reduced. Maybe if you're working for 1 year, 2 year, that is enough. 2 year, that is also a long period of time now. How do you plan now? You are IT and other industries, they're also hiring some freelancers, they're also hiring gig economy. E-commerce is hiring a lot of gig economy. So these industries, how they plan for the, look for the career development plan, how they can work on. Maybe that will take the 5 years. We are planning for the 5 years that in next 5 years, this would be your position, these would be your responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. So, in the current scenario, how, as an HR leader, what would be your advice, or what is the best strategy to plan the career path for any employee?
So the way I look at it is that the human tendency and nature is to start off with trust. The innate abilities, whenever the fund premise is that if I have joined you, so for example, Romesh, I'm talking to you and Harjeet today. I trust you both, which is why I'm willing to come in and have a conversation over here. So human nature has not changed. While the surroundings, the environment has evolved, there's a lot of information flow, but my basic nature of wanting to trust remains. So if it's an organization, I can help you build that trust, that you build that trust with me, that I am here and invested in you. It's not like, and you will have, people, it'll be a 80-20 rule. This is, and obviously you can say, how are you predicting? But it's my random prediction that commodities, there will be people who actually treat organization like commodities. They'll come and go. It's a pick and drop based on, I got $5,000 more at this company, I'm going to go there. But there will be people who trust you and stay with you. It's important to have aspiring leaders. What I mean by that is, they are the ones who will essentially help you create value, connect with that. So, Kyndryl has these values and it's called the RED, which is the heart of progress. And R stands for being restless, E stands for being empathic or empathetic, and D stands for devotion. So essentially what we are trying to get at is that, as long as you have that connect beyond just work, and you actually think that you're building something for tomorrow which has a larger impact. Everybody's talking of ESG now. Why is everybody talking of ESG? Because you want to say that it's not just about you, but it's entire environment that we operate out of the ecosystem that's very, very important for us. And if we are able to give that expression to our talent or our people who work with us, who work in building this organization, give them that respect, I don't see a reason why people will move out. I also know, very genuinely that when people come in, they want that sense of belongingness and pride. I've been doing a lot of focused group discussions. Everybody wants to have that connect. Everybody says, I'm contributing towards the success of the organization. And there is some very simple asks, can we meet more often? Or can we what do we say? Can we provide some more suggestions than what we are doing today? Will it be an overload? So the very fact that you allow for people to come and speak, you listen to them, makes a lot of difference. And that's the reason why so many organizations actually go all out. They have engagement surveys. We do engagement surveys. You have external accreditations like, the Glassdoor, Ambition Box, etc., etc. So it just talks about the culture you build. At the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing, where you're saying, if you're able to give a career, even a gig one is willing to convert into a full time. It's just about making that transition. Over to you, Harjeet.
I will say the same thing in different words. Uh, like it is like what people need in their life. So um, when people are in the first stage of Maslow hierarchy, so they need physiological, when the needs are physiological, if somebody is giving 500 rupees more, and that is what you are looking for, you are bound to change your job. Suppose you have taken a home loan and somebody is giving you more money, which will pay off your home loan, then that becomes a consideration for making a career choice. Now, if suppose you are at a stage where money is not that what you're looking for, you're looking for the second stage, you're looking for safety. Now, safety could mean psychological safety or actual physical safety, that okay, I will not get fired from here. So there comes those basic things, whether am I performing, am I not performing? Do I have tools to do my job? And once you're sorted with that you are able to do your job, you are secure, then you move into that whether I have meaningful relationships at work, whether uh, like people are talking to me, what Rajita was saying. And then you start thinking about, catch up, what is important. I met a Uber driver. Um, so I asked him, which are the maximum paying days? Means which day is the best for you? So he said, Monday is generally the best day when we make the most money. But I don't work on Mondays. So I said, why you don't work on Mondays? He said, my wife works in retail. Her off day is Monday. So if I am not with her the day she has off, then what is the point of making so much money? It is important for me to be with her. Now, this is also a consideration, and here I'm not talking this entire uh, thing about being in office and everything you can provide to a person in an office. It is a need of an employee. I recently was interviewing somebody. I said, "Why you want to change the job?" He said, "I got married." So he said, "There are more responsibilities." He said, "No, no, no, no. There are no responsibility issue. It is like." I'm working in night shift and she is working in day shift. So I want to change from night shift to day shift so that we can be together. Now, this is a consideration. But now, here, money is not talking. Same way, when you are there at the third level, you want to move to the fourth level. You want to feel good. You want to achieve something. You want to feel that pride. So you provide a career path that, okay, right now you're doing this. You go to the next level and the next level, and this is how you can move to the next level within the organization. So then people stick with you because they see a career path which is comfortable. And um, I was asking somebody, he was getting a chance to go outside the country and have a good life. He said, yeah, uh, who I have to show that I am doing well, I have to show it to my family. Now my family is here. So if I get something here that is meaningful, if I go to some other country where nobody knows me, then what that success means? It has nothing. It means nothing. So if you give people chance to grow within their social circle, that is what people enjoy. And like these are the insights, and after you are done with your career path and growth and everything, then it is like, what is the meaning of my job and what is I am contributing to the society? That kicks in. So this entire piece of why people stay and why people don't stay or choose to move actually is something which Maslow defined decades ago. And we can simply use that theory and understand the behavior of people.
So career growth, the expectations may be different for the different people at the different stages of a life. That may be, as Rajita was talking about, career growth is like learning. So once okay, the career path is designed by the organization, I don't know, somehow it is created by the organization. Then how you provide the growth opportunities, how the HR leaders of the organization can help to get the growth opportunities, because career growth, career development, that is a win-win for both. That is also win-win situation for organization, and that is for the employer.
Look, when you define the organization, you actually design the jobs. So if you remember, first time Ford actually got into this job design piece, and earlier earlier it used to be each and every vehicle was assembled by a group of people, and it was taking say 12 to 14 hours to assemble a vehicle. So he brought in assembly line concept, and he defined the job that each worker has to do this much only so that people can do that job faster. Now, people started doing that same job on the vehicle, and in assembly line, he was producing more number of vehicles. Then people said this job is boring and I don't want to do this job. So what he did was he increased the wages. He doubled the wages almost so that people don't quit. And still we call it the dark age of management. This was also called the scientific theory of management, or scientific theory of job design. Now, suppose if Ford has to take it to the next level, how will Ford do it? So you have a job at the assembly line. Now, there are people who are doing troubleshooting when the vehicle comes out. That is another job. There is a job of maintenance on the assembly line. There is a job of supervisor who is managing sections of the assembly line, which is the supervisor job, and the manager job. Now, the person who is working on this particular line, one is you can job rotate them. Okay, today you are learning this particular thing. You are working on tires today. Tomorrow you are going to work on fuel pump. So you will learn more parts of the job. So when people think that they are gaining skills, people are more comfortable, and that monotonous nature of job goes. Most of the people hate doing the same thing again and again. Then you tell them, once you have done these 5 things, then you are going to get into a maintenance role because you understand this entire thing, or you are going to get into the troubleshooting role. And from there, you can actually get into a supervisory role. So what you are defining is you are telling people, if you do all the 5 together and you do this additional thing, then you can go to the next level role, and you add some incentive. Incentive in terms of that if you have done 3 levels, then you can move to the next level, and there is additional money which we are going to give you. And once you move to the supervisory level, there are certain benefits which will come along that now you can define the benefits that you are going to get some extra health benefit, or a parking space for your vehicle. Now, these benefits make the job lucrative. This is very similar to playing a video game where you are doing the same activity again and again, but it is just how you are placing the rewards, and how you are showing that you are moving ahead by learning certain skills is uh, taking the person forward and keeping the person engaged. So, this entire thing is designing your job architecture properly so that people can move from one job to another by acquiring certain set of skills. If you can properly design your organization in such a manner, then chances of people staying with you will improve drastically.
Right. And Rajita, how do you see? One is the employer's responsibility, how they can support in the career development of employees, and one that is also this own responsibility of employees, how they work on their career development. How do you see? What is your comment on this?
So I will give you the story of Vikram or Betal. We've
Mhm.
all seen Vikram or Betal. At least I saw little when I was growing up. And usme it's if you link it to the new day management, it's a case study methodology. Okay, meaning that there is a situation, it is given to you by Betal, and Vikram is actually supposed to solve for it, and there is a learning that comes out of it. The reason this is very fascinating to me is that it's more of a pull than a push. Whenever we get into learning, there is still certain industries and organizations that talk of, push on learning and push on career and things like that. I think everybody has understood what really works. And to Harjeet's point, it's important to have a very clear, career framework defined, which is transparent. Okay, you need to take inputs. But I can also tell you one thing, that once it's rolled out, you need to evolve every 12 months, because change is so rapid today that if you want to be relevant in today's, field in a particular area, you ought to, upskill yourself, reskill yourself, whatever you want to call it. So from an organization standpoint, that's what needs to happen from a Vikram or Betal standpoint. And that's what sits very well with me. But if I look at your question on how do employees take it, right? And how do they build their careers? I think they like things which are simplified. They like to see role models. They like to see that this is actually implemented and it is doable and it is repeatable. It's not that it's a one time, I've done this. If I'm a technology organization, I've worked on this technology and then I'm done and dusted. It has to be across practices, across, different consulting businesses, across infrastructure. So mention all of it. It needs to be agnostic of what it is, but it's a very simple way of learning. And then I think for any employee to understand that they have got where they are is a clear, I think assessments are overrated, but a clear standing of where I stand today. People love to know that. So your skill framework should provide them to be able to know where they stand, both from their standpoint and the guru standpoint. I think that, that concept of this person will tell you what to do is gone. Nowadays, people regard gurus a lot for whatever reason in professional life and in personal life. So if you have the concept of a guru who essentially has a little more experience than where you are, is able to dispel the darkness where you're in, in any phase, essentially goes down a long way. So for me, having role models, that is people from your peer group who've moved up either laterally or vertically, depends. And people who are there to help and guide you always goes a long way. So that's what organizations need to do.
Yeah, Harjeet, Rajita also pointed out the guru, or you can say mentorship. How do you see the role of mentorship in such a scenario when we talk about the career growth?
Look, I will tell you, I went to the Statue of Unity. They have built a beautiful park there, and there was a white tiger. So I was with my wife, and we were looking at the white tiger. So she was able to see, I was not able to see. So she was saying, "Look, there it is." And I was saying, "Where?" And then she pulled me and she said, "Change your angle, see from this side." So I changed my angle and I was able to see the tiger. Look, that is what gurus do. They make you change the angle from which you are looking, and you are able to see the tiger. That's the whole thing gurus do, and that's why they are called gurus.
Very nice analogy here. And Rajita, what is your any of your final comments?
I will make it quick, but I will give you a very Gizapita story, but it's my favorite. So I will still say it. Since I have Harjeet, it's important to give stories, right? So when Ram graduated and came back home. So I'm going to narrate it in a modern way. He came back home. There was this Rishi who went to his dad and he said, Ki dekhiye, Maharaj, I have a problem and I need your two princes to come along with me. One was Ram, the other was Lakshman. And he goes कि they've just come, इनको experience नहीं है life का, मैं अपना सेनापति आपको दे देता हूँ, he'll come. Sorry, I'm speaking in Hindi, but the flow comes like that. And then he is stuck. He says, नहीं, मैं तो राम को लेके ही जाऊँ. तो राम को लेके गए. And then over there are all these demons, who've created havoc for all the Rishi Munis. So his task that was assigned is, you have to free us from this. He goes, they fight, a lot. And then finally comes the chief of the demons. The chief of the demon is a woman. He says, I have been taught in school to respect the woman. How do you expect me to, kill her? And he says, it's about the context. It's about what you're trying to drive and what's the purpose of why you have been brought in here. He does it. And then that was his learning. And to Harjeet's point, that's what a guru does. So for us, I think it's important to understand where every individual is, give them the context, and then it's up to them to perform. I don't think you can push too much beyond a particular point. That's all that you need to do.
Right.
And that's what we as
Right.
organizations do and as HR
So
do.
very beautiful analogies and wonderful thoughts by both of you. Thank you, Harjeet, and thank you, Rajita, for joining the conversation and sharing your wonderful thoughts and career growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramesh ji, for inviting us.